Alright, good morning, Shauna. So my gardens are kind of all over the place. This is my oregano, my crabapple tree, which is really more for pollination than anything. Oh, I have a sprinkler head that's apparently gone retarded. Yeah, I'll fix that later. So this is sage. These are the blooms that happen from the sage. I just need to harvest it and put some away. This is mint. I think it's mojito mint. I have about 10 different kinds of mint. Some more mint. Some chives back there. I don't use them very much because, well, they're just back there. And this is kind of my neglected part of my garden. There's some more mint. Some more mint. This is my thyme, and it's getting watered. These are just some flowers. This is my front flower bed, some clematis, more flowers, rose bush. This was actually one of those small roses that people get for like holidays and stuff, and Travis got that, and the kids got that for me for Mother's Day a while ago. Lavender, some strawberries. Those are going to get transplanted in the back next year. These trees, we're cutting those trees down, and we're going to move the tree line back and put in fruit trees because Travis says those trees aren't healthy enough. Whatever. So this is daisies with a blue center. This is lavender. This is a grape that's going to go out back, but it's going to go out back next year, so I'm going to have to transplant it to a bigger one. This is salvia. This back here is called Black-Eyed Susans, and so it's going to vine up this post and put oranges and yellows and kind of fall color flowers, like 5-petal, really dainty flowers. This is a mint, a lavender, that's a different kind of lavender. The bird bath is for the bees and the butterflies, and that's why the rocks are in there, and that's why it's dirty, because they need the dirty. This is one of my sunflowers. This and these were an experiment sunflowers. I put them out before the frost ended, and just to see if they would come up, and they did. But I planted 10, I got 3. So these are great plants that are going to go out in the back, but we're going to take out the back deck and put in a cement patio, so we don't want to plant them until that's done, because then we're going to pergola over the top. Some maple trees. This is more mint, and then there is a walnut tree in there that I'm getting started, but this is actually an herb. I can't think of the name of it. This is my pomegranate tree. This is the tangerine or navel orange tree with cement. This is the lemon tree with cement. I don't even use much mint. Why I have a ton of it, I don't know. This is the lime tree with some more mint. This is the rhubarb I transplanted this year. It's mildly happy. This right here is the rosemary from your house. This is basil. Echinacea that I need to get planted is right there. This is another kind of rosemary that I picked up that's supposed to be good for this area, so we'll see how that goes. And then my deck is a disgusting disaster. Then we walk back to the backyard. And I have roses like crazy. More roses like crazy. So this one's an apple tree. Right behind the apple tree, just on the other side of that little fence right there, is a plum tree. I hate this apple tree. It's the most beautiful tree I have, but the apples on it are awful. They're kind of soft, and I don't like soft apples. So this is a pear tree. That's a pear tree. This is my apricot tree, and we are just pulling it all off because it's loaded with apricots, as you can see, but they're huge. When people see them, they think they're peaches. There's the cows, and that's that plum tree back there. More of the roses. This is another apple tree. This is our cherry tree. It's huge. I don't know. This might be another cherry tree. So this is gooseberry. This is currant. These two are called honeyberry. That's the beehives. Another gooseberry. This is a black lace-leafed elderberry. Here, that's a pig. Blueberries. Here's some more raspberries. This is our big raspberry patch. I think that I'd like to divide it and make two, because this actually isn't even enough raspberries, but you can see it's loaded. Nothing like going out in your yard and eating for breakfast just by grabbing a handful of berries. And none of these are sprayed. I don't spray anything with anything. If I have a problem, I figure out how to take care of it by co-planting or by letting nature take its course. And then more blueberries. This row right here is yellow and black raspberries. So there's raspberries that are yellow and black, so half of it's yellow and half of it's black. Oh, by that apple tree back there's a blackberry stand. This is the Granny Smith apple tree. So this is the barnyard. I have garden all over the place. It's just kind of the way it is. This is where our garden started. We kind of grew out of that. I didn't get it planted because this is where the pigs were, and I just haven't had time. I will get all my roots in there, like my carrots and my beets, because I still have plenty of time for that. Not plenty of time, but whatever. So I started my greens here. I've been harvesting greens since, I don't know, March. I'm working on getting this cleared out and planted. So this is my loofah sponge, but if the fucking chickens see them, that's a turkey, that's a turkey. These guys are ready for butcher, but they won't be butchered for a month. They keep eating so I gotta get them out of there. These are all tomatillos. They've all volunteered themselves. Some of them keeping, some of them I keep pulling. This is my zucchini. So some of these are zucchini, some are yellow squash. You can see them coming on now. There's one there. There's one there. This is my figs. More zucchini. So these are zucchini. This is a Ronia berry that I gotta get planted. This is my other rhubarb. It looks a lot better. I don't know why the other one looks like crap. Probably because it got transplanted. It's been pretty hot this year. This is a white tomato, so I'm excited to try that this year. So this is what we call the barnyard. The big garden is out in the field, which was the pig pen last year. And we wanted to plant all the big stuff out here and then plant the little stuff in there, which is kind of what we've done. But I still have lots of things to grow. I'm still going to plant more greens because my greens are getting a little bit tough because they've been out there for all year and they get, a little bit tough. And, well, I forgot to turn the tomatoes water off last night, which is fine because they won't get watered for but like twice a week. So I let it soak in really good, and then this is 2 pigs. The ones in the yard, it's a whole nother story. Anyways, so there's my pregnant pig. She's due about September. So these are all tomato plants I started in my greenhouse. So some of them are beefsteak. So these are beefsteaks. This is a beefsteak. This is a cherry that somebody gave me. Traded me some beefsteak for cherry because I killed my cherry. The rest of these, however, are they are all the sauce tomatoes. I can't remember the name of them. I probably will later. And then down the edge of this fence line, I've planted, these are all marigolds. And the reason they're as big as they are without flowers is they get huge. Like, they will get this tall. They will get 2 feet tall. And they have blooms on them the size of softballs. This is a volunteer tomato plant. When you feed your pigs food, sometimes it comes out the rear end as seeds. Anyways, so this is a zinnia plant. So I just planted these for flowers. They help with pollination. They're pretty. I like to pick them. I can't remember what this one is, but that's another flower. So we just took a handful of flower seeds and threw them down the edge. So I'm excited about that. This is one I got a free seed from Baker Creek Seeds, and so I planted it here. And there's more of those seeds in that row. This is my corn that is flint corn, and so it's what you grind into cornmeal. This is not the sweet corn. And then I have, this is a pie pumpkin there. This is a buttercup squash there. This one is another pie pumpkin. And the big thing for me this year is that I started almost everything from seed. So that's a big thing that I'm learning this year. This is another pie pumpkin. So this is a row of potatoes, a row of potatoes, a row of potatoes. We eat a lot of potatoes. This is something new for me this year. This is sweet potatoes. And it has the black thing because it says that it requires it for it to actually get to size around here. So next year, I'm going to be using a lot more of this. A different kind, though. There's a different kind that is better for the garden, so I'm going to look into that. It's a little bit more expensive, but we're going to be doing that next year. This is an elderberry. I've got another one right there. This is more potatoes. So I have red potatoes, white potatoes, Yukon Golds, and russets, and then the sweet potatoes. So those are kind of blooming right now. Potatoes seem to do really well around here. This is another elderberry, which is all about immune support, is the elderberry. You don't need them raw, you cook them. And then you make syrups and stuff out of them, and you have to add sugar because they're kind of like rhubarb, super tart. This is a cantaloupe. Again, I've started this one from seed. This is another one that I've started from seed. So we're interplanting the squash with the pumpkins. It's called the Three Sisters. I didn't get the beans planted in here. I probably still could. I just haven't done it. And so the idea is that the squash keeps the weeds down. And let me tell you, it works. You kind of have to weed them in the beginning. But then, because the leaves are so big and the vines are what they are, like this is like 3 squash plants. So we tried a new one called the Big Max pumpkin. It is 100-pound pumpkins. And then all these corn interspersed in here. I replanted them so they weren't so sporadic, but I don't know that those other ones are going to get big because this vine is just massive. Something to learn. Learned. This pumpkin is huge. I've never had a pumpkin plant this massive in my life. So it's massive. Plant the pumpkins. Plant the corn earlier than the pumpkins. That's learning that one. Because it's starting to take over. Like that big old vine right there was in the potatoes yesterday. I pulled it out and ran it down the side. So then I took this corner and I've planted sunflowers. I'm a little late on some things. It just is what it is. I'm so tired that it's what it takes. So this corner, you can see them. And again, these are several different kinds of sunflowers. I took the seeds, shook them up, and threw them in this area after we weeded it. It'll take over. The grass will disappear to be fine. So this is another corn. So this is my sweet corn. This is what we'll harvest for all the sweet corn, assuming we pick it on time this year. So we're going to plant the strawberries out here. We've got some planted out here, but I'm going to tear them up because I'm going to take that black fabric and spread it down the side of this and make this the permanent strawberry bed, but I'm going to have the black fabric down. But you can see these flowers are just huge on this particular, and there's a pumpkin going there, another one, but these are supposed to be massive pumpkins, and I kind of think they're right because it's going to get huge. This plant is, I can't believe how big this plant is. Anyways, so there's buttercup squash in here. There's blue Hubbard squash, so that's squash that'll actually be blue. This is more of that pumpkin, just going all over the place. This is honeydew. This is honeydew. This big one is, well, you know, it's the pumpkin. It didn't apparently have sides, okay? More corn, and yes, I have full of weeds. Weeds, and I weed every day. This is watermelon that, again, we've started. It's supposed to be a smaller watermelon because my season's not long enough to grow those big, massive ones, and I really kind of like the sweetness of the smaller ones. So I've got this one, and then this one. And then more of the potato. I just love the potato flower. They're so pretty, kind of dainty, and some are lavender and some are white. I don't know what's on what because we just kind of put them in the ground. And then I've got more of those flowers growing there. you can kind of see the weeding, how it affects, because these ones I weeded first. These were all planted at the same time, but these got weeded first, so the sun got to them sooner than these ones. So anyways, I'm gonna mulch the crap out of this. I'm gonna make Travis mow the lawn and then take the lawn clippings and mulch this, because anyways, so these two right here are the banana peppers that I purchased those ones. This is a serrano. I purchased that one. The rest of these peppers I started in my greenhouse. So this is a sweet pepper, that's a sweet pepper, that's a sweet pepper, that's a sweet pepper, that's a sweet pepper. And then these ones right here in the middle, there's one there, there, and there. The chickens came in and dug up a couple of them. That's kind of one of my struggles. That's sweet peppers. And then this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one are all jalapenos, which the biggest thing that I'm going to make out of those is salsa, and I make this candied jalapenos that I put on everything, and they're amazing, so I want lots of them. And then there's a purple bean right there. I had a bunch planted, but Madison helped me plant them, and she kind of pulled on the roots and kind of ruined them. So I gotta plant them again, but I don't know if I'll get much of a bean harvest. I need to get them planted like probably this weekend, and then maybe I will, but we'll see. Again, and then so this is what I use for my tomatoes. I saw your tomato cages, and my tomatoes will get all the way up here. I will be picking tomatoes off the top of here by the end of August. And so this is what I use. So this is a hog panel. They're about 20 bucks a piece. And then I use just the fence posts, the T-posts that I was telling you about. I use T-posts a lot. And you can get really good ones, but you don't have cattle, so you probably can get these cheaper ones back here. They're about $1.50. But you can use a sledgehammer, a split and maul, a hammer to hammer those in instead of buying a post pounder. But this is what we use, and you just stick the 2 posts in the ground, and you stick the fence post up against it, and put the other post where you want them, and then just bend this over. It takes 2 people is easier. I can do it with one. It's a pain in the butt with one, but anyways, so this is what I use for my tomato trellises. Last year was my first year. I will never do it again without them because they are amazing. And then I just take and weave my tomatoes through here. So this is not quite long enough. When it gets a little bit taller, I will pull this back through here and pull it back through the top here. And I'll probably pull one through one hole and one through the other hole. And then I just kind of weave it back and forth. And then you have to physically do that, but yeah, so the tomatoes are doing well. I've got, you can see I've got some tomatoes on there, and I've got some tomatoes on there, and I've got some more there. So they're coming on. This one's been a stinker. I'm going to have to get some baling twine and tie it up because I got it planted too far from the fence. But that's what happens when you have kids helping you plant them, and then you put your trellis in later. Next year I'll put the trellis in first and then plant the tomatoes. It'll make my life a lot easier. Anyways, this is Hogwarts. This is Petunia. He's my boar, and she's my sow. And that's this tree. I just told you it's massive. This is my cherry tree. Anyways, that's my farm and garden at the moment.